I was the last 3-4 months I was living off the flight attendant paycheck, and was a struggle for me. It was horrible. Me budgeting money. I'm not good at budgeting money. I see something I want to buy, and I'm gonna buy it. I couldn't do it anymore with $1,500.
You had to kind of. I remember we were struggling. There was
no. It's not for me. It's not a lot for me. I cannot be.
But you did do it for 2 years.
I did it. Yes, I did it.
She struggled, but she still, because this is something that she was passionate about. She loved the job.
Yes, I love the job. But
you always think it's going to get better. Is that why you stuck through?
Because you're thinking, I'm going to get raised, and maybe I'm going to have a better paycheck, but that paycheck is not going to come. So my life for me was very stressful. When I don't have money, I'm very stressed, and I cannot deal with it. It's not.
And it's also an age issue, like you said. If you're young and you're working at McDonald's, you're used to that $15 an hour or 18. I don't know how much you're paying, and then for you, 26 is a pay raise, and you're traveling, so it's fun, and you don't have responsibility as far as like car payment, insurance, mortgage, a child. But when you add all that together. And you are older and you do have children like we do, and then you're going through a divorce on top of that, so you have a lot of finances that are like pulling different direction, and you have to concentrate on work on top of that, and you're outside because you have no contact with your family because you're traveling. It's hard to keep in touch. You can't call from the plane. When you land, you're exhausted. You don't have time to have these long conversations in the hotel. You get ready, you're on the go again because they're working you. And then when you're finally back and you have a few days off, what do you want to do? You can either come back home, catch up. But again, if you're commuting, like in my case or in your case, we're driving home. So there's also that first day of commuting that doesn't count. So you have to take that into consideration. So if you have 4 days off, which is usually the norm, right? You have a 4-day trip, about 3 to 4 days off, and another trip, 1 day commuting to go to home, 2 days enjoying your family and catching up on everything she mentioned, prepping your food, grocery, you're talking about mailing things, saying hi to your family, whatever. And then on the last day, you're commuting back because you're working the day after. So really out of your 4 days off, you really have 2 days off. So sometimes it's not worth to go home because I'd rather stay there and just relax and didn't stress myself out. And I know I'm working the next day, and it's just so draining. And it's draining for the kids because they see you and they don't. And then they see you. I'd rather not see them for like a week or two, and then they see me for a full week, as opposed to just, here's a little teaser, you see me for a day or two and I'm gone. And you see me, and it's hard on them too. So, and they have a sitter. I'm sure people may have family that takes care of them, but it's not mom and dad, you know what I mean? So it's hard on them. I want to know exactly, Mariele, what triggered you? What was that one particular moment where you said, you know what, I think this is really not for me?
Oh, I remember clearly. I was in Detroit. I was layover in Detroit. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and my son called me. When he calls, is because there's something happening. 1 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So he was. I live in a duplex, okay, and I'm renting the one side. We live in one side, and I'm renting the other side. So he called me, and apparently the people that rented the tenant that was renting my unit, they had drug issues or alcohol issues. I don't understand. So I was stuck in Detroit. I was calling the police because my son was terrified. Mom, I don't know what to do. He was terrified. You imagine being a mother, being in Detroit. Your son is in Florida.
Even if he's 18 years old, he's still alone. He's still
exactly.
And you don't have family.
No.
Yeah, you're like me. We don't have any family.
So I was trying to call the police. The police was locally. No, you have to call the sheriff in your town. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was a mess. So that was the time that I said, my God, what am I doing? I'm neglecting my son for what? For $1,500 a month? Are you insane?
So she put the money in perspective with that emergency.
Yeah.
It's something that it just kind of hit home when you kind of put that in perspective, that this is what I'm sacrificing for this kind of money. For you, that was a wake up call.
I was struggling financially. My son had a problem, and I was not able to, and I'm a single parent. His father is not to be found. So the only responsibility, it was me as a parent, and I was not there helping him.
Yeah.
And was stressed, exhausted, broke. My God, I said, what more can I take?
You just came to a point that it was exhausting for you.
Just for flying? Are you kidding me? No. So,
like the passion is here, and you kept the passion alive, and then the stress level was it outweighed, the passion. Because then it wears you down, and that positivity that you have, I'm going to fly today, it kind of chips at that little flame that you have for the job. Yeah,
because then you're thinking, oh my God, the next trip I was thinking, oh my God, if something happened to my son and I'm in Puerto Rico, so he cannot even call me, what?
It is the worst feeling as a mom to not be able to be there for your child.
No, it was not worth it. So when I came back from that trip, I started to put more hours in real estate. I was trying to work more.
Drop more trips.
Yes,
you were dropping so you can concentrate on.
I was dropping trips. I got very busy in real estate. Big money were coming in because, hey, I'm a badass realtor. I'm sorry to say that.
She's really good. She's making good money.
I don't like my job, but I'm very good at it. So, so it was big money coming in. So I was dropping trips, and my points were, higher and higher and higher, because you have 12 points, and then they're gonna terminate you. And when
it's a point system, The more you have points, the more it works against you.
So, but and I was putting, okay, I'm getting 2 points. I'm gonna get rid of my trips, the trip, or I'm gonna make $15,000 in commission in 1 month. Yes, bye flight attendant job. So it was a choice of money for me. Then I went to recurrent. I didn't have time to study for recurrent, I'll be honest, because I was too busy in real estate. I failed the recurrent because you have to study, because it's not a joke. The recurrent is not a joke. I failed the recurrent, so I put myself in perspective and said, hey, is this what I really want to do? I mean, keep dropping trips and getting points, and because I'm not gonna give up in my lavish style life. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm very superficial, whatever you wanna call me. But I like to wear a Rolex and have a Jaguar, whatever, just
you
cannot
okay.
do it when we are a flight attendant. But the passion was there. So the point was, I can become a pilot and have my satisfaction in aviation, and making a lot of money as a realtor. So I'm getting my private pilot license right now.
Yay! Another passion.
Yes,
check.
So I switched that, my job into
still aviation, as you notice, but
yes,
just doing something else.
Yes.
So you're still juggling 2 things, but the passion is still there, and you're incorporating it. Now, looking back, do you miss it?
Yes.
You miss being a flight attendant?
Yeah, absolutely. I miss it.
It's in your blood, you guys. You can quit as many times as you want, but somehow, maybe not now, but maybe you'll have enough savings in a couple of years, and your son grown, maybe moves on, maybe meets somebody, gets his own family, and you feel like, I have that itch again, and I want to get back into it. Do you think that would be a possibility?
I think that the key for this job is start when you're young. Because then, 5-7 years in, the system, you have you get a nice paycheck, not as much.
By the time you're 40, you're making good money, and you could, retire and have a good retirement plan. Also, I mean, don't get discouraged if you're 30, 40, or 50, or even 60, because we had 60-year-old in our classes that passed and are very passionate on the line. There's no age for it, but what she's saying is, once you start at an early on stage, as opposed to like working at McDonald's, if this is something that you want to apply and kind of grow with the company, it's easier than when you have a family. And remember, we're old ladies that have younger kids. That's not that it's unheard of, but usually ladies, girls in their 20s and 30s have younger children. We started late. So what happens is we're almost in our 50s, and you've got a teenager, but I've got like young children. So it's kind of, not that it's unusual, but I've started late. So basically, when I should be retiring right now, I'm kind of starting my life, and I'm being a mom to 3 children that need me, when I should have done that when I was 30. But there's no such thing as, you should have, and it's this age that you should start. And it is what it is. I love my children. I got to deal with my situation. So my situation is a little bit different. Like I said, a lot of people have kids when they're in their 20s and 30s. I've waited. So I'm a mom at 50 of young children, and I'm starting a career, which is kind of weird for a lot of people because they look at me and they're like, well, 50, you should be like almost retired. You should be, you know what I mean? And I'm just starting out. So for a lot of you that have been around, you know, you're younger, you've got, you know, you've done your life just like me in my 20s, 30s. I've had a career. I was a realtor. I've done other things. I've had companies. I've made good money. I was comfortable. I was married. There was 2 income. And then it went from 2 to 1 to now it's all on my shoulders. So, you know, different situation in life will put you in different scenarios and you decide what works for you and you make it work. Like, you know, that was a passion for me to fly. And I didn't want to leave my kids, but it's, you know, you have to compromise. So I got myself a sitter and I managed my situation the best that I could. And I'm still juggling. I'm still learning. It's a process. It's hard to juggle everything at the same time, but you have to make it work, you guys. If you have family, if you don't, like I don't, find someone that's reliable, try them, test them out, go on a little trip to see how it works out, and then kind of go from there. But everybody's situation is different. It's just a question of adjusting yourself, trial and error. Don't quit so quickly. Mariele, she did 2.5 years despite all those feelings she was feeling because this was her passion and she stuck it through, and I admire her for that. We don't just hold on to like, oh, she quit. You want to hold on to like, she did it that long, and that shows character. That shows strength. And despite everything that she's been through, she went through a horrible breakup. You know, there's a lot of abuse there, verbal abuse and whatnot. And we both went through so much, but we still held on to our job, whether it meant taking time off, dropping trips, whatever worked for us at that point, we did it all. And she found the path that was easier for her and more, you know, financially was going to be a better fit for her. And I encourage that 100%. I think it's important that you find your true happiness. You know?
This job is not for everybody. You have to commit and stick with it and be very strong, because
don't think that it's going to be beautiful. We're going to be flying, because at the beginning you're very blinded by the it's very glorious, right? And you take pride. You're walking with that carry-on and you're like, I'm my flight attendant.
Wings,
my God.
I was so proud of
But I think we always felt like that. Just going, you're
absolutely.
reporting to the plane with your crew. I still feel that every single time I work, and it's that little feeling. I don't know how to explain it. You know, it just feels like, wow, I'm a flight attendant. You know, you walk the
every time that I fly, I miss that feeling.
It's that little, I don't know. Yes. It's like being, I guess, a superstar. You're in front of a crowd and everybody's clapping. You get that high. Well, being a flight attendant, there's a little high period. And that period lasts forever because you always feel important.
Yes,
that uniform,
absolutely.
the minute you zip it on, you're like, yeah. I miss that too when I'm not flying. And she does too, because when she flew here, obviously she's not working, but then you kind of reflect on, this was me once upon a time.
Yes, but I had
But she's done it
with when I fly my Cessna, you know.
Well, there
so,
you go. She got that little, woo,
yes,
I'm
the
in
rush,
control.
the adrenaline rush, you know, I have it because, you know, it's up to, well, I have an instructor in my
Well, for now,
right
until you
suit.
have your own pilot license.
You know, but I think that this job is a passion, is not a job. And
It is a passion. She said it. It is not a job, because don't expect to be making a lot of money until you have 5 years in. And until then, you got to have your life figured out, okay? Because you're going to go through a lot of turbulence, literally turbulence, you know, with money and with events that are going to happen in your life. But if it's a passion of yours, stick to it. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of people that have had like, 20, 30 years of experience, they can do whatever they want. They're on the top of the list. If they want to drop everything, they do it. So a lot of them choose to not even work for a few months, and they still have that job security, right? So you could do whatever you want once you're up there. It's just getting there, you guys. There's going to be so many obstacles. It's like a relationship, you know? No relationships are perfect. You got to work at it. Well, this job, you know, it's very glamorous from the outside, but when you're in it, it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this, and a crash pad, and I wasn't expecting, you know, money issues, and I wasn't expecting, you know, it's, you hear it, you know that this is what is expected, but once you're living it, you're living in it, it's such a different story, you guys. Because laying in that bunk bed, looking up, you're like, what did I get myself? I remember the first feeling that I had when I went into that crash pad. Were you with me? We met up and we were in that crash pad. Oh my God.
We went through so many things together. My God.
It was and the things that we lived. I don't think anybody else has lived this. You know, I remember looking at the bunk bed. And somebody had reserved the bottom, and I'm like, do I have to climb up that second floor? Like, I can't remember last time I did that. I think I was like 5 years old.
Oh my God!
So here I am climbing, and my legs are hurting because my feet goes in the bar, right, the metal bar, and I'm on top, and everything is wobbly, and I'm like, what am I doing, Mariele?
Emotional breakdown.
I started crying.
Almost 50,
Yes.
and I'm in the bunk bed.
Oh my
What am
God.
I doing here?
Yeah, and she was down because she got there early, and I was up, and I remember looking down, and we had our little lamp. I mean, I'm talking as if it's like 5 years
my
ago.
God.
I'm still living that life, but it's still, I just remember the first feeling that I had, because you're not alone in that room, and you're sharing one bathroom for 4 people. They snore, they stink, they talk, they stay up late, their phone rings because they're from different airlines. In the middle of the night, you hear it, it wakes you up. You're not in your home environment. I remember being freezing cold, because look at my big thick sheets. I'm always cold, so if I don't have my own home environment thing, my own bed, my own pillow, I can't sleep comfortably. So you're tired, and you're like, what am I going to eat now? You can't touch people's food. The people get catty. Girls form little cliques.
My God.
So much to a point where you can get kicked out of a crash pad if you don't behave. Hint, hint. So you have to be at your best behavior. You can't speak your mind, God forbid.
Oh my
And we're
God.
Italian, so we like to speak our mind. I mean,
Unfortunately, yes.
and you can't do that because you're going to be at your best behavior at work, best behavior at home, because that's your home for the time you're there. There's so much stress, you guys, going into it.
Kicked out from the?
No, I haven't, not yet. But I was kicked out in the sense that they closed the crash pad. No, you,
Me?
This girl's been a troublemaker since training, to a point where I remember the instructor saying, "I give you a month, you ain't gonna last."
Yeah. I remember.
And there was
2 years.
2 years, man. As soon as you see that instructor, he's still flying with us. You just tell him, look, it's me. I lasted that long. But I remember him. There was one. I remember. Okay, I have to say this real quick. I know we're off subject, but we're in class, and all the phones had to be off. And of course, Mariele forgot. So all you hear, and he's like, "Who's that?" And we're like, let me see. Who would like forget to
God, yeah, me.
or the birds? We're not supposed to feed the birds, but she's so generous, and she has a bird. You know, I might just post a picture of you and your bird right here. She's got exotic birds. She's in love with birds, and she's a bird
Everything
person.
is up in the air. I love it because it's a passion. So I have a big macaw, and I love her. And at training, I was
feeding the. What's the big deal? And they just made such a stink about it. She would get in trouble constantly.
constantly.
I'm just like, and I was trying to stay quiet, and then I got in trouble because of my roommate. Oh my God, things were not working out, and I was keeping quiet, but then I exploded because you gotta speak
I
up
had a very good roommate. I did
till the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. The last few days where we had
And it's okay. I mean, it's gonna happen. The stress that we were put under, you can't help it but to butt heads eventually.
Yeah.
And that scenario is unlikely normal because you're stuck in a room with a stranger for 4 weeks, whether you like it or not. There's gonna be headbutting, so you just have to express yourself and be truthful to who you are. But anyway, so to conclude, you guys, this is a great job. Please don't be discouraged. We're just trying to cover the positive and the negative of being a flight attendant. Now, like we said, it is a passion, like Mariele said. I totally agree with that. Again, it is your own personal journey. Thank you. And you decide basically if this is for you or not, but you can't know that until you try. So the minute that you try it, and don't give up right away, because at the beginning I remember it was very stressful. I remember thinking, I don't know if this is for me, because you idealize the job. And
oh my God,
right?
very much.
Don't you have your own perception of what it is?
Yes.
Until you're in it.
And it's completely different of what you're thinking.
Yes. And so, and when you're in it, you kind of get disappointed. And that disappointment can push you out the window, out the door, or kind of make you reevaluate what it is that your priority are, and if you still want to do that, right? Okay. So I hope this was very informative, and I hope you've enjoyed my beautiful company. I'm gonna miss her. She's leaving on Sunday. Don't leave me, please. I like it when she comes over. It's like a sister from another mother. I enjoy her, minus the wake up, Shelly, in the morning. I told her this morning, and I'm like, you have two options. You get the knife, or I'll move out. I'll stay in a hotel nearby. And so
The morning. I love the morning. Come on.
Oh my God.
We have to.
What's that saying? The early bird gets the worm.
Exactly.
And gets very productive. Yeah, but your morning is 4 o'clock, and mine is mine is 8. So you guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I cannot wait to see you up in the air and fly with you. Again, flywithshelly@gmail.com. Make sure you email me if you have any questions. I will post a link below of Mariele's TikTok and also YouTube channel, and very informative information that she gives out. And
move on from a abusive relationship.
There you go. She nails it right on. And if you're in a relationship that you can't get out and you think that, you know, there's no way out, she'll give you some advice. Her YouTube channel is awesome. So you guys check it out. Give her a like, give her a subscribe. Like I said, I'll just put the link right down here below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. Don't forget to click the notification bell. I want to make sure that you do not miss the next video on Flight Attendant Life. Love you guys. See you later. We love you. Can't wait to see you. And again, good luck with all your CJOs. Can't wait to see you up in the air. All right. See you.
Bye.